I am going to please ask everyone, every caller that's going to be a participant for public comment to please mute your phone until your name is called. Thank you. So Leslie, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Council, for the ones that are here. I really appreciate it. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
You can hear me? Okay, thank you. So a couple things on your agenda. Mayor Bronin is appointing people to the Police Civilian Review Board and the Police Accountability Board. I'm still not clear what the difference is, but hopefully that will become more evident as time goes on. What I'm really concerned about is the sexism and the sexual harassment in our city. As you know, we paid out money for city council back in March for sexual harassment and toxic workforce. And now it, continues on the police and fire department. And the police department is my main concern. Officer Barrega has had to go to the federal court, and there's a number of CHRO complaints, and there's a number of federal cases about toxic workforce. And, it's known that Chief Snowdy just goes along with his boys, which happens to be white heterosexual men, and he is not promoting or treating fairly people that are not like that. So I'm really concerned when the mayor appoints 2 males to the Police Civilian Review Board and 5 out of 7 males to the Police Accountability Board. I presume we have about 50% women in this city, and many women are already concerned about dealing with, particularly white men police that might be racist with a gun. And I feel that they really need a place to go, and they're going to feel better if there's more women on these boards. So I don't know how Bronin is deciding who to put on them. I see some of them are DTC members. So I don't know what else criteria he's using, but I really want you guys to pay attention and have half these boards be women. I don't see why you can't find enough women to be on these boards. My second thing I want to talk about is the land bank. I know you're voting to put some property in the land bank. I know we've waited a really long time. We're lucky to have Laura Settlemyer as the executive director. She knows a lot about this, but I'm really not happy with the lack of transparency. When I Google it, it comes under Metro Hartford, which, most people in the city are not going to be looking at Metro Hartford's website. There doesn't seem to be any web page for themselves. I have no idea who their board members are. They seem to be a nonprofit, and I'm not sure what that means as far as transparency and accountability, if things they do are going to be FOIable or not, because they're not a government agency, they're a nonprofit. So, as usual, I have a zillion questions, and you all will probably just vote and put this property in the land bank without asking some of these questions, but I hope that you do. It's been a long time coming. I understand that. We had to get state money, which is probably a miracle considering COVID. So there's a lot of good things about it, but I know one board member who got off it when she saw how broken the system was when they hired an executive director. Obviously, people wanted Laura, and they went through a whole kind of process acting like they were open to other people, and they weren't at all. So I'm very concerned because we need to get these blighted properties in the hands of people that hopefully can be homeowners here that live here already. That would be the goal. And obviously paying taxes on the properties would also be the goal. So thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing from the other people. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Leslie. Next to speak is Tyrone Harris. Tyrone, could you please state your address for the record?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Tyrone Harris, 31 High Street, East Hartford, Connecticut. So, as you mentioned, my name is Tyrone Harris, and I am the president of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Beta Sigma Lambda chapter, and I would like to request the changing of the name of Columbus Boulevard to Dr. Frank T. Simpson Boulevard. For those who do not know, since we are live, Dr. Frank T. Simpson was born in Florence, Alabama, after graduating from the Great Tougaloo College in Mississippi. He came to Hartford, Connecticut in 1929, and he was a deceased member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Beta Sigma Lambda chapter held in Greater Hartford, Connecticut, P.O. Box 891, Hartford, Connecticut. He began his civil rights activities and activism in Hartford as a social worker for the Independent Social Worker of North Hartford agencies. In 1944, he was the first paid employee of the State Commission of Human Rights and Opportunity. For over 15 years, he served as executive director of the Commission for the Civil Rights Commission of the United States. Among his accomplishments were the opening of the Construction Union for African American Workers and the hiring of the first African American female saleswoman in downtown Hartford. Dr. Simpson traveled widely throughout the country, advocating for state governments and education institutions for desegregation. In 1960, he became the executive assistant to the State Welfare Commission in Connecticut. In 1959, the United States Negro College Fund gave him the Service Award in recognition for his fight for higher education for African Americans in the United States. In 1966, he was the first African American to receive the Citation Merit from the Hartford Seminary Foundation Alumni Association. For over 20 years, and even today, just a few months ago, Dr. Frank T. Simpson Scholarship, which is held through the Beta Sigma Lambda Educational Foundation, has given over $75,000 in scholarship to Greater Hartford High School seniors attending college in the fall. The young adults have received this award for their great community service, activism in their community and in their schools, and be seeing peers and peer leaders throughout their schools, throughout their school year. In honor of his legacy, the Hartford has jointly named Dr. Frank T. Simpson Waverly School after him, another longtime neighborhood resident of the first employee of the Connecticut First Civil Rights Agency. The school is located in the northeast side of Hartford, and also the Dr. Frank T. Simpson House is a historical house that is named in Hartford at 27 Kinney Terrace Road in Hartford, Connecticut. Dr. Simpson dedicated his efforts and his life to the civil rights, the betterment of the people, of Blacks, and not only in the United States, but also in Hartford. I can't think of any other individual of the deserving as such as the Dr. Frank T. Simpson Boulevard here in Hartford, Connecticut. Once again, my name is Tyron Harris. I am the president of the Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated Beta Sigma Lambda chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Next to speak is Representative Brandon McGee. You have the floor.
Madam President, I don't think Representative McGee is back from his debate yet. He had requested to be put on last.
Okay. Duly noted. Next to speak is Jesse White.
Hello, my name is Jesse White. I am a member of the Beta Sigma Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I am also speaking to change the name of Columbus Boulevard to the Frank T. Simpson Boulevard for the following reasons. One,
Excuse me, Mr. White, could you please state your address for the record?
My name for the record?
Your address.
My address is 259 Doncaster Road, Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Thank you. You may continue.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut. I actually attended attended Simpson Waverly School in Hartford, and have since grown up to be an educator myself, principal on assignment at Bloomfield High School. I think that right now we have an opportunity to speak to some of the issues that were even stated earlier in this call about the representation of Black men, especially in the arenas of education in the city of Hartford. We have the ability to stand on the right side of history and allow our younger young men and women to understand that there are and have been Black men who have stood for education, stood for excellence, and we would like to have that street name changed to Frank Simpson Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Next to speak is Sharon Small. Sharon, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Madam President. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Smalls. My address is 15 April Way, Bloomfield, Connecticut. I am a member and chaplain of the Beta Sigma Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which is seated in Hartford, Connecticut. I am also calling in support of changing the name of Columbus Boulevard to Dr. Frank T. Simpson Boulevard for the following reasons. In addition to education, Dr. Simpson was also a social worker, which I am also by trade, a school social worker, as a matter of fact. And it's very important for me as a man of color, as a Black man, to be able to connect with the work that Dr. Simpson laid out, both in the field of education and social work. His fight for economic rights, housing rights, for employee rights, for all people, and not simply people of color, but all marginalized folks, should be something to be heralded, something that we should be able to honor in the public eye, and not just something that we read about. Furthermore, as street names and monuments are lifted up, and we have to ask ourselves, what do we want our legacy to be? What do we want people, when they refer to who we consider to be heroes, the information and the history behind what we essentially revere in the public space. The street name dedication, it should be for those who have contributed significantly to the community as designed by the charter. However, it is noted that Christopher Columbus himself directly has not even set foot in Hartford, Connecticut. We know he has actually never set foot in Connecticut at all, or even in the coastal United States, or North America as we call it. We should be looking to honor a man who dedicated his life, dedicated great work, great intellect, great collaboration and skills to benefiting this community directly. And we also have to note that him being a Black man in the time in which he worked in the middle of the 20th century was extremely difficult, yet he overcame those things so that he could also create avenues for many like himself and others, again, the marginalized communities. So in support of changing the name of Columbus Boulevard to Dr. Frank T. Simpson, I would ask that the council strongly consider it so that we could be on the right side of history, but also the right side of education, and choosing the right people to honor in this great city. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smalls. Next up to speak is Kenneth McClary. Kenneth, are you with us? Kenneth? Next on the list is Albert Gray. Albert? Next to speak is Abdul Rahman.
Yes, this is Abdul Rahman. My address is 145 Taylor Street, Vernon, Connecticut. I also own property at 111 Gillette Street in Hartford, Connecticut. I am calling in to request the change of Columbus Boulevard to Frank T. Simpson Boulevard. As you've heard, Frank T. Simpson, he was a social worker. I'm a social worker here in the city, and he was an alumni of Tougaloo College. I think that one of the things that that was said that I think may resonate with you all the most is that Frank T. Simpson was someone that was here, that was from Connecticut. I don't feel like there's a need to disparage Christopher Columbus. We all know that most of the history about him that we've been taught and learned in our community is all false. And I believe that the history that Tyron pointed out about Brother Frank T. Simpson is the truth. And I believe that during this time right now, it's important for our young people and for adults like myself to be able to say that we are still able to make change in 2020. And so in history, you know, we've gone through history and we've made a lot of mistakes in history. So we named Columbus Boulevard, but what does it stand for? I think that when you make a change like this one, where you say this man was he was a leader in our community, he was somebody that people are proud of to speak about. When we name our streets, when we label our community, we want to be able to identify people from this community, people that made an impact in this community. And I think that Frank T. Simpson Boulevard would be an awesome, you know, it goes beyond just being able to say, you know, Black Lives Matter. Sometimes when we go into action and we actually show what we're talking about, I think this would be a momentous thing for the city of Hartford. And I hope that you take this under consideration for us to change the name of Columbus Boulevard to Frank T. Simpson Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else on the line who still has not participated in the public comment section? Is there anyone else on our screen, on our line, that has not participated in the public comment section? Going once? Twice? Again, is there anyone on our screen or on our line that has not participated in public comment? I guess there's no one else. With no other business to conduct, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. I will see you this evening at 7 p.m. for our regular scheduled council meeting. Thank you.